Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. It's Chuck here, and we're on, I think, episode 438. I have no idea. It's always a pleasure. So let's get to today's list. There's 10 properties. And actually, just before I do that, Milton Buyer Class tomorrow night, if you want to come, just click the link over there. Go to miltonbuyerclass.com. Start at 7 p.m. We go for about 2 hours, and it's awesome. No cost to come. You just bring a food bank donation, and we'll support the less fortunate. Okay, so let's get to today's list. First one up is Sauve, or Sauve, I don't know what it's called. 359, it's a townhouse. Really, you don't have a whole lot of living area until you hit this spot here, and then you've got an eat-in, and then you have a family room right out front. Now, having the first picture, instead of being the front of the house, having it be this with the parquet floor, I don't know if that's the best decision. I don't know if a lot of people love that parquet floor. I could see it hurting their efforts. It's a pretty easy thing to fix. I even find if you sand it down and stain it a little bit darker, it looks okay. But that honey tone, I find it dates the home. This home was only built in the last couple of years, and I don't know if it creates the best impression. From a building perspective, don't buy a home from the builder with parquet floor. It's just not in your best interest long term for the value of your home, and it looks like there's some level of privacy in the backyard too. So 359, I do think it's a very active price range. I don't know how big the home is, so it's looking to me based on room sizes like probably about 1,300, maybe 14, something like that. Nice view of the pond, that certainly has value added. And between getting a pond in your backyard and having to change some floors into hardwood, the cost is pretty minimal too. So that's the thing. I don't think it's going to drastically affect them, but you may just narrow your audience down to the people who are willing to change something out. Borden Lane is a semi-detached $399, and it's got a nice layout. I mean, it's got this sort of long, narrow feel to it, and it kind of keeps going and going as you get to the back of the house. You've got 4 bedrooms upstairs. It's probably not my favorite pick. If I had a cap of 400,000, it probably wouldn't be the first one that I would choose personally. But we do see that, I mean, semis are probably starting now at about 370. So Megan Way is 459. It's a Poddington. It's 1820 square feet. And so it's also called a Shady Glen as well. So hardwood floors, and you get into the back. Everybody loves the main floor of this home. It's a very classic layout. That bay window allows you to put a table in here. It allows it to be tucked away, and it's really just a nice space. There's your family room right there, and they've done the California arch. They got a couple pot lights in here, and so the finished basement is the real value booster, because these ones typically sell in the kind of 430 plus or minus. Some of them are up in the 440s, but we've seen some that have the glass shower, the really nice finishes, and they've gone way up in 470. So I think the basement is going to do well for these guys. It probably would have been the price that I would have chose for this home, something like that with the finished basement. Pitcher Place is a semi-detached 474.9. And it's got a finished basement as well. A little bit bigger than the previous one, but it's semi-detached. It is mostly all brick, and the photos are a little bit stretched. It says there's granite countertops in the description. Again, with photos that look like they're from a BlackBerry, it's very hard to tell. And I know the builder, even the cat toilet, I mean, that's just, you can do better than that. Big open basement. The builder did finish basements in this area, so it's possible that that's from the builder. And then you've got enough space to have a heart-to-heart conversation with your spouse in the master bedroom. And so there it is. So again, presentation-wise, not at its highest level. 474 for a semi. Again, not my first choice if I had that much to spend. You can start to get close to double car garages for that kind of money. Duff Crescent is 529. 4 bedroom, 3 washroom, double car garage. The only thing I did notice with this one, it's 2127 square feet. and you've got this little den upstairs. So it's possible that instead of wasting your office or whatever else in a room, you have another space where you can put a desk and whatever else, reading chair, whatever you put in your office. So I don't know much about it. Doesn't have photos yet. Dice Way is at 530. It's a Spirit Plan 4, and off the top of my head, I don't remember how big it is. It's only the 3-bedroom though, so I think that you can find some of the larger versions, the Plan 6s, for the 530 price point. You'd have to put your fence in. I don't know. I'm not thrilled with it. It looks nice, and you have to put your air conditioning in. There's no air conditioning in this one. California shutters is something that's better for the sellers to do it than for you to do it, because they're not cheap. I mean, you could do a whole house, probably cost you at least $5,000 to $7,000 and or more, and you don't get that money back. It's a nice impression, but you might get half if you're lucky. So Landsborough is $598. It's a 4-bedroom double car garage home. I don't know much about it beyond the fact that it's a Chester, so it's one of those models that, you know, 3 or 4 steps up, 5 or 6 steps up. So it's a split level design. There's the family room above, like it's kind of the family room kitchen. There's a dining room. Then you go up and down, and I don't know. They're not my favorites. I find the bedrooms are a little bit small, and if it's really upgraded, maybe they'll get that price. But to me, it still seems high. We can see some homes that are typically 2,800 square feet for around the 600 mark. So unless it's just blow your mind awesome, I'd say you probably have to pass. Now, I was real excited when I saw this one here on Stringer. I sold this home originally. My client bought it from the builder, and we sold it just after it closed. These guys purchased it, and now they're selling it. So it's a Livingston. It's 3,300 square feet. And I even like the way it looks on the front. I find it's a nice first impression. 3 levels, so you've got this loft upstairs, and they've actually used both of the photos. So that might look like a family room, but you can see the sloped ceiling here. You can see the attic access. That's the 3rd floor, so they finished all this space up. It's like having a finished basement at the top of your house. So really cool space. They've done a French door here, so they've split it up into 2, and I believe there's a washroom up there as well, and a built-in bookcase, and just very, very cool. I think the drapes, some of the carpets probably date this home more than it needs to be. The target audience is probably looking for something with a little bit more zip. They've done a bit of work in the kitchen, and off to the right-hand side of the kitchen, you've got this little, like it's like a hobby room or something like that. You can see no neighbors behind too. Hobby room here, so you've got a little place for your wine. You can have the kids do their homework while you're cooking dinner. It's a very handy space, and the laundry is just next to that too. So again, this home, I was really hoping to see some hardwood and some zip to it. Even when we were selling it before, some of the complaints was it was a little bit basic. This is a great floor plan though. I would highly recommend checking it out. Nothing's going to be built on this side here because it's just not big enough. It's sort of it gets shallower as you get further to the side. But just the privacy factor here, awesome stuff. Okay, it's really, we had people when they showed this home before, they said it's like living in the country, but you're in town. So awesome stuff. Okay, so good floor plan on this one. Again, $699. We usually see for that size a little bit more upgrading, but it's certainly in the zone. So Dolby Crescent, $749. This is the old Mattamy model home, and so where it is, it's right there. So Dolby, it's facing Derry Road, so location automatically is going to probably lose half your audience. It's a Tothberg. It's 3,331 square feet. And it's nice inside. It's beautiful. You know, you've got the 9-foot ceilings on both floors. It is still carpet, and it's kind of a greeny, grayish carpet. So I don't know if that's going to make people fall in love. But I mean, it's very, very nice inside. Impressive. There's still tons of upgrades. That is the den upstairs. So there's 4 bedrooms plus a den. You could use this as a 5th bedroom, but the way that the built-ins are, you probably wouldn't rip those out. And there's your master there too. The ensuite looks terrific. One of the things that you can do in your own house is you can actually do the large mirrors like these guys did, and it makes this bathroom look huge. So it's a great thing to do. It's relatively inexpensive. Tough one to say. I mean, you know, the record for this model is, if they got this price, it would be the record, and I think in some ways deservedly so. Location's going to hurt them. Even some of the upgrades are a little bit dated. This home is probably close to 10 years old, so you know, you do have that generational thing that's happening. Now, I wanted to make a comment. I had one of my favorite viewers actually sent me an email, and he said, hey, Chuck, you know, you've been giving these guys slack for the 800,000 listings, and yes, I have. And so the comment was is that, hey, look what the builders are charging. And I've seen what Heathwood's charging. I've seen how quickly these people are snapping up these homes. And to me, the builders are charging more, and never mind the hidden costs involved. The builders are charging too much money. That's my personal belief, and obviously people are buying them, so supply demand says it's the right price. But in my eyes, thinking about how slow the market was, and sometimes people have a short memory, there were only like 1 or 2 sales over 700,000 period in the last half of last year. It was very slow. So we've started to see the interest rates have reinvigorated that price range. But really, this is something that I feel very passionately about. It's just because other people are doing it, or just because the builders are charging these prices, you really have to look, you have to be responsible. And as an agent, I look at it and say, I'm the guy that really has to hold people back sometimes. And it's fine, it's your money. If you really want to go for it, go for it. But just look at it from my perspective too. And so having both sides of the coin is very, very important. I just think, man, you know, some of these homes, they're not going up by 100,000 in a year, and I'm seeing some people that are definitely you know, launching themselves into that zone. So be very, very careful. Okay, so 20 Side Road is the next one, $899. It's about 2.5 acres, I would guess. And so inside, it's over 3,000 square feet. It's had a lot of renos done. And really, the quality of the renos is going to determine if this one is going to get this money. It's a little sparse, so if it was a little bit more decorated, even if they rented furniture in this price range, I think that it would be, a good thing for them. So kitchen looks good. I'd like to see some more shots of the land. There is a virtual tour link, and I haven't checked that out yet. Even the garage doors, sometimes that natural wood finish, if you just kind of, if you make that a little bit more modern, maybe give it a coat of paint or a fresh stain, a little bit darker, it can probably improve the results. But the land looks nice, lots of trees, and it's not too far from town. So anyhow, that's the list for today, and have yourself a great day. Come to the buyer class if you want, and if you're coming this weekend, join us for a tour of homes. Have a great day.